Are you looking for the best handheld gaming consoles? In this video, we will look at some of the best 5 handheld gaming consoles on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. Logitech G Cloud. Cloud gaming has come a long way, and with a decent internet connection, you can stream AAA games like Fallout 4 from a browser. Logitech's G Cloud doesn't have the power of the Ally X or Steam Deck, but because all the games are running on a server, it doesn't need it. Instead, the G Cloud runs a custom version of Android that lets you sign into cloud gaming services like Xbox Game Pass or NVIDIA Cloud Gaming. That means you'll need to be online in order for this device to play games usually restricted to more powerful consoles. But because it runs Android, you can also install games from the Google Play Store for offline play, like Stardew Valley, and you can pop in an SD card to store more media than the onboard 64 gigabytes can hold. You won't be able to see as many details on the G Cloud's 1080p screen as you would on the Ally X, but this console's resolution is higher than that of the rest of the consoles I've tested, and even playing games over the web, it looked great as long as my connection remained stable. My favorite thing about using cloud gaming services is that, unlike when playing games from a store like Steam, you don't have to wait for things to download. That, of course, means you'll need an internet connection whenever you want to play, but it's nice being able to launch a game for the first time without having to wait 2 hours for a 60 gigabytes file to download over Wi-Fi. Battery life on the G Cloud lasts hours longer than that of any other non-Switch console I tested, maxing out at about 10 hours. Removable controllers aren't necessary for a portable console, but the G Cloud is one I do wish had them. Since it runs Android, it could be used as an Android tablet, and you can install apps like Netflix or the Kindle app, but because the controls are fixed in place, the G Cloud is hard to hold when doing anything other than gaming. If you're looking for a large-screen device that'll let you stream games from the cloud, no device does that in a more straightforward way than the G Cloud. You can access the same cloud services from handhelds like the Ally X, but they're more expensive and their batteries won't last as long performing the same activities. The G Cloud will also work with any emulators that are on the Google Play Store, and since it's lighter than the Steam Deck and Ally X, it'll serve as a better emulation machine than any of them. Number 2. Anbernic RG35XX. You can play games from old-school consoles on several other consoles we recommend, but none of them bring the nostalgic feel of the classic handhelds like the Game Boy, and they can't fit in your pocket. The Anbernic RG35XX, on the other hand, is designed to look like the original Game Boy, with a higher resolution display and support for games from consoles like the SNES and Dreamcast. Everything on the Anbernic gets stored on an SD card. You choose the size of the included one when you check out, but you can swap for a larger card at any time. And it comes preloaded with a ton of games like Pokemon Ruby and Battletoads. They're all organized by console, including all the Game Boys up to Advance, and even PS1. I felt like a kid rifling through a box of old games as I flipped through the folders of games in the Anbernic, unearthing both classics I've missed over the years and those I never got a chance to play. You can download and install your own games as well. It's impressive how many games this tiny console can play, but I do wish its casing felt less plasticky. It doesn't feel cheap, though the device is surprisingly affordable by gaming standards, but a slightly nicer plastic would have made it feel more like an actual Game Boy. Anbernic also makes an upgraded version of this console, the RG35XX Plus, that can play N64 and PSP games, but gameplay isn't ideal given the small Game Boy-like body of this model. There's also the RG35XXH, which has a design similar to that of the G Cloud, and which also supports N64 and PSP games, but has joysticks for better controls, that I plan on testing soon. Number 3. Backbone One. Dedicated consoles are the best way to play games, but if you need something lightweight and don't want to add another device to your bag, the Backbone One can turn any iPhone or Android phone into a Switch-like gaming device. The controller slides out so you can dock your phone into it. There are USB-C and Lightning versions of the Backbone, and it stays securely in place until you remove it. This controller doesn't have any batteries. All the controls are powered by the phone, and there's no pairing necessary, just dock and play. Like with the G Cloud, using your phone will allow you to access any games on the App Store or Google Play Store, all while taking up less space. If you're using an iOS phone, though, Cloud gaming is a bit trickier as you can't install an app for any of the cloud gaming services directly onto your device. Instead, you'll have to access and play the games through Safari. It works, but it's not as nice of an experience. Mobile gaming won't give you access to the same level of games as a true console, but there are plenty of games on iOS and Android that are just as good as some games you can find on Steam, Xbox, or PlayStation. The iOS gaming subreddit has some particularly thorough roundups if you need some guidance. You can also install an emulator on either platform to play the same games as on the Anbernic, though you'll have to find downloads of the games yourself. Number 4. Lenovo Legion Go. If you're of the mindset that bigger is better, the Lenovo Legion Go might just be the Steam Deck alternative for you. Not only does it feature a whopping 8.8-inch IPS display, it also boasts an impressive 2560 by 1600 resolution. The 144 Hz refresh rate, coupled with the higher resolution, gives the Lenovo Legion Go one of the best displays out there on a Steam Deck alternative at the moment. Just like the Asus ROG Ally, the Lenovo Legion Go uses an AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme processor, making it capable of handling most games with ease, while also offering innovative features such as removable controllers. Number 5. GPD Win 4. The handheld gaming revolution has arrived for PC gamers, and there are more options than ever to choose from to get your gaming fix on the go. The GPD Win 4 makes for an especially interesting choice, with its PS Vita-like design and hidden slide-out keyboard. It feels more like a true pocket PC than any handheld we've tested so far, and is on the more affordable side at $799, though that's more expensive than the newer and more powerful Asus ROG Ally, but has a handful of drawbacks that force you to weigh what really matters most in your personal gaming experience. If the GPD Win 4 looks familiar, it should. The design is strikingly similar to 2012's PlayStation Vita. Everything from the shape to the look of the buttons feels like a callback, though Vita owners will notice that it's a bit bigger in every dimension. GPD has also gone with offset joysticks instead of the classic Sony side-by-side. As a Day 1 Vita diehard, the GPD Win 4 is inspired, and I'm here for it.